Discarded concrete pipes are haphazardly strewn about. A simple stone table serves as the kitchen, and mobile phones and lamps rely solely on power banks for electricity, immediately evoking a feeling of living in the primitive wilderness. The concrete pipes here are fully occupied. Fearful of their territory being encroached upon, some people have posted signs declaring the King's Mansion, indicating occupancy. Elsewhere, individuals don unstylish clothing while live streaming. In a time when China is constantly propagating the soaring economy, the sight of people living in abandoned concrete pipes is particularly intriguing. Despite the female hosts not being beautiful and the male hosts not handsome, it doesn't affect viewership. This is because it's happening in the industrial city known as the world's factory, Dongguan in Guangzhou. After more than 30 years of China's reform and opening up, Dongguan, which has always been at the forefront of economic development, has recently seen a wave of business closures and foreign capital relocation. As it is widely known, Dongguan is a hub for contracted manufacturing companies. When foreign capital withdraws, thousands of Chinese workers lose their jobs. Among these people, some have worked in factories for decades and are now middle-aged. It's overwhelming to be suddenly faced with unemployment and consequential cost of living pressures, coupled with labor competition against millions of university graduates. Those who are single simply adapt to homelessness, creating their own personal space among the concrete pipes. Gradually, many with similar experiences have come to call this area the homeless space. In recent years, world-renowned companies like Microsoft and Nokia have decided to close their factories in China and move to places like Vietnam and India. Over 9,000 workers became unemployed at Nokia factories in Dongguan and Beijing. Japanese companies like Panasonic, Daikin, Sharp, and TDK are planning to move their manufacturing bases back to Japan. Well-known companies like Uniqlo, Nike, Funai Electric, Samsung, and others are also accelerating their withdrawal from China, opening new factories in Southeast Asia and India. Located in Dongguan, mobile phone parts manufacturer Aorsirui Deshipu Electron Technology fled after owing 135 million yuan, leaving 400 employees unemployed. A local foreign trade manager stated the withdrawal of foreign capital and corporate bankruptcies in Dongguan began in 2008. Initially, extensive processing industries moved to western provinces, but in recent years, some electronics and apparel industries started relocating to Vietnam and Southeast Asia, with the situation worsening this year. In reality, the closure of Chinese enterprises when the withdrawal of foreign capital is not just occurring in Dongguan. Another symbolic city of China's manufacturing industry, Wenzhou in Zhejiang, is also undergoing a process of deindustrialization. Local industries, such as shoe manufacturing and lighter production that once thrived, are now losing their past glory. In addition to traditional low-end manufacturing companies moving their factories to Southeast Asian countries, some foreign high-end technology companies are also relocating back to their home countries, attacking China on both fronts. At the end of 2019, the COVID-19 pandemic broke out in China. The authorities adopted what is widely considered a fairly extreme zero-case policy, with even the bustling modern metropolis of Shanghai under lockdown due to an official mandate. The once bustling Bund in Shanghai is now overgrown with weeds due to lack of maintenance and tourism, presenting a sense of desolation. Everywhere in Shanghai's luxury residential communities, there are messages about subleasing and selling at a loss. The elite, celebrities and tycoons left Shanghai at the first chance they got after the lifting of the lockdown. The political uncertainty in China and the frequent changes in regulatory clauses by the authorities have made entrepreneurs miserable. Domestic entrepreneurs are reluctant to invest further, and foreign investors are hastening their departure. This vicious cycle is ongoing, and recently, mainland social media has been flooded with news about corporate layoffs. On May 18th, China's media Yitai Global reported that on the professional social platform MyMy, several users certified as employees of China's largest classified website, 58.com, revealed that the company had recently undergone large-scale layoffs. The report indicated that the layoffs at 58.com involved multiple business lines, with some departments seeing layoffs reaching between 30% to 50%, with a compensation policy of N+1, which is a standard severance compensation plus 1 month. One user, claiming to be an employee from 58.com's local business group, confirmed the news of the layoffs and mentioned that the layoff rate in his business group was between 20% to 30%. Given 58.com's total employee count of nearly 30,000 and a layoff ratio of 30%, this round of layoffs could potentially affect between 7,000 to 10,000 employees. 58.com is a classified information service platform in mainland China, with 27 direct sales branches nationwide. As shown on its official website, as of December 2022, 58.com has reached 730 million registered users. Its business covers multiple areas including second-hand trading, real estate, recruitment, and lifestyle services. The founder and CEO of 58.com is Jingbo Yao. He established the company in 2005 and led the company to list on the New York Stock Exchange in 2013. In 2015, the company acquired several businesses, consolidating the competition in China's classified information platform market. In 2020, it delisted from the US stock market. At the same time, it is widely rumored in the industry that Wanda Group is negotiating with banks to postpone debt repayment. Close contacts revealed that Wanda Group will have large-scale layoffs before June, conservatively estimated at about 30%. At that time, senior executives may be demoted and have their salaries cut, and vacant senior positions will not be filled, putting a hiring freeze in place. Wanda Group later explained that they are indeed optimizing personnel, which involves tightening in individual departments, but there are no large-scale layoffs. Wanda Group is China's largest commercial real estate developer and operator, with Wanda Commercial Management being one of the core assets of the group. It is responsible for the operation and management of over 470 Wanda plazas and more than 130 hotels. Furthermore, Ford Motor Company sales in China continue to decline, potentially leading to layoffs of over 1,300 people. According to mainland media reports, Ford sales in China have been declining since 2016, falling below 500,000 units in 2022 for the first time in a decade. Last year, its market share in China dropped to 2.1%, down from 4.6% in 2016. Chinese consumers are increasingly favoring electric cars produced by companies like Tesla and BYD. Ford has not specified how many layoffs will occur in China, nor provided a specific time frame. A spokesperson stated that China remains a very important market, and Ford is committed to developing its business there, as well as continuing to accelerate its transition to electric vehicles in the Chinese market. Bloomberg recently reported that Wall Street leading figures, after enjoying 3 years of benefits from the broad opening of China's financial market, are planning large-scale cuts to projects and staff in China. This includes companies such as Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley. These companies believe that due to the worsening geopolitical environment, Chinese President Xi Jinping would prefer to sacrifice the economy to prioritize security issues, suppress the private sector, and eradicate mergers and acquisitions. The dream of making big money in this 60 trillion market is becoming increasingly remote. Currently, Goldman Sachs has lowered its 5-year plan expectations, and Morgan Stanley has decided not to set up a securities dealer in China, reducing its derivatives and futures business investment to $150 million. JP Morgan Chase & Co. began cutting its dedicated staff in China earlier this year. The reports described that it was a difficult choice for these major investment companies. 18 months ago, they believed they could compete in the Chinese banking industry, but now they are seriously reconsidering their strategies towards China. High-ranking insiders have stated that banks worldwide are laying off employees, but the scale of layoffs in China is the largest in history, with greater intensity than other regions. Since September last year, these investment companies have laid off at least 100 dedicated staff members in China, with Goldman Sachs alone eliminating a tenth of its workforce in China. In recent years, China's economy has been on a persistent decline. Although officials have been touting a revival of the Chinese economy, they had to admit in a report in April that China's small and medium-sized enterprises, most of which are privately owned, currently face challenges such as insufficient market demand, tight cash flows, and high pressure to transition and upgrade. If they can't regain vitality, expanding employment and even maintaining the status quo would pose a challenge. On May 16th, China's National Bureau of Statistics released economic data for April. The urban unemployment rate reached 5.2%, and the unemployment rate for young people aged 16 to 24 reached a high of 20.4%, the highest since official records began in January 2018. Given the long-standing data fabrication by the Chinese authorities, the actual unemployment situation may be even more severe. Many job seekers have sent out hundreds of resumes, yet they can't find a satisfying job, leaving them feeling frustrated. Youth unemployment has been a persistent issue in China's economy, especially during the pandemic. Strict prevention measures restricted travel and impacted economic activities, leading to the closure of small businesses and loss of consumer confidence, exacerbating the problem. New York Times reported that one of the main reasons for the difficulty in youth employment in China is that the economy has not fully recovered. The pandemic continues to impact all industries, leaving a surplus of job seekers and a shortage of positions, with some businesses even downsizing their recruitment plans. In addition, industries such as internet technology and education training, which used to absorb a large number of job seekers, have seen significant recruitment slowdowns following regulatory crackdown.